guys, Astrocass here, back with a quick astrology update. This one is for the April transits and it's for my Virgo rising, so let's jump into it. So the sun starts off transiting your Aries 8th house, so this just means that you're really shining and people are noticing how well you're doing in regards to that 8th house. Or also can also be to do with your vitality, your confidence, your ego as well. So the sun transiting through that 8th house. The 8th house is more of a hidden house and more taboo, so people might not be seeing this stuff as much, but let me just go through the 8th house and what that can mean for you. So the 8th house is sex, death, rebirth, transformation. It's also occult practices, but on a more basic level, it's other people's money. So when we're talking about other people's money, it means if you've got a business or business partnership, it can be the business's money or your partner's money. If you're in a romantic relationship or married, it can be your partner's money or your marriage partner's money. It can be things like taxes, debts, inheritances, those sorts of things is all 8th house topics, especially with other people's money. So with the sun transiting through there, hopefully it can be a time where you're really just enjoying yourself and getting a bit of a deeper intimacy happening with your partner if you have one. Otherwise, maybe you might be delving a bit deeper into things like occult practices, which can be anything from tarot, candles, magic, basically anything. Even astrology could fall under an occult practice. So, you know, people might be noticing how well you're doing in regards to those sorts of things. The 8th house can also sometimes be therapy as well. So, you know, if you are seeing a therapist and working on yourself and doing some shadow work, you know, that sun can really show that you're working and improving your ego, working on yourself or finding some benefits from that. On the 21st though, the sun moves into your 9th house. So the 9th house is all about your beliefs, your higher education, spirituality, religion, and overseas foreign travels. So anything to do with like foreign lands, foreign travels, foreign products, you know, higher education, so like uni and above, anything to do with philosophy, religion, spirituality, that will all be activated with the sun going through that 9th house. Obviously everyone will experience this a little bit different because it does depend on your natal chart and how this is aspecting your natal planets from your natal chart. So if there's things happening for you or you're just curious and you want a bit of support to understand these things a little bit more, definitely book a reading with me. I'll put my information below, ask some questions, reach out, let me know what's going on for you. Then we've got Mercury, the planet of communication, news and learning. That starts off in your Aries 8th house, so that's when you're going to be thinking or communicating a little bit more about those 8th house topics, or maybe even getting some news in regards to those 8th house topics. Again, as I just mentioned, it's the house of sex, death, rebirth, transformation, other people's money, and can be like occult practices and deep intimacy and bonding. I know, you know, that I shouldn't have to spell that out, but sex, those sorts of things, or 8th house topics, therapy, those sorts of things. So Mercury just means that we're going to be thinking and communicating a lot more about these topics. So I'm sure you'll notice what's popping up for you, what's on your mind, or what you're talking about a bit more with that transit through your 8th house there. And on the 12th, it'll move into your 9th house. So that's just when you're going to be communicating and thinking a lot more about your 9th house topics. So higher education, spirituality, religion, for overseas travel, foreign travels, your beliefs, those sorts of things. You might be talking about them more openly, thinking about them a bit more. Or you might even get some big news around this stuff. Like maybe you've booked some flights to go over to, you know, a foreign, you know, go traveling overseas somewhere foreign, and you've got paperwork or something to fill out. That's all Mercury, so that could all come up there as well. Then we've got Venus, the planet of love, romance and money. That starts off in your Aquarius 6th house. So with Venus traveling through your 6th house, what this is saying is that you might be really enjoying time with your co-workers, with your pets. You might be really enjoying your health and fitness routine, enjoying your daily routine. So the 6th house is your actual work duties that you do every single day. It's your housework. It's the things that you do as a part of your routine, but it's also your health and fitness, and all those sorts of things. So Venus going through that 6th house can be quite nice, bring a lot of pleasure and happiness there, because obviously Venus is about things that we really enjoy. It's about pleasure, it's about love, romance and money. So you could be spending a bit of money on that area. You might be making money through the work duties that you're doing. You might have a good relationship with a co-worker that improves. You know, all those sorts of things can come up with that transit. And then on the 6th, it'll move into your Pisces 7th house. So 6th of April, it'll move into your Pisces 7th house. So this is just when you're really going to be loving and enjoying your close one-on-one relationship. So remember, this can be a romantic partner, a marriage partner, a business partner, a close one-on-one relationship of any sort. So a best friend, cousins, anyone that's like a close one-on-one relationship to you. But you'll really be enjoying that. Again, you could be spending more money on this area, more money on your partners, you know, or you might even be, you know, making money from your networking and relationships with other people, because Venus does rule money as well. Then we've got Mars, the planet of action, passion, war, and aggression. That's what we're fighting for and fighting with. That starts off in your Aquarius 6th house. So just like I mentioned before, those 6th house topics, but Mars is all about our attention, energy, our focus, our passion. It can be conflict, those sorts of things. So when Mars is going through that 6th house, just definitely be a little bit more careful of accidents or health problems arising. Mars usually rules like blood and accidents and stuff like that, so just be a little bit cautious of that. Not scared, because it does depend on your own natal chart, but you know, that's just something to be careful of, because Mars is very impulsive and a little bit risk-takey sometimes. So with your health and stuff like that, be very careful that you don't have any accidents. On a more positive, Mars can give you a lot of energy and passion to get into the gym, to reach your goal, your fitness goals. It can give you a lot of energy to book those doctor's appointments, go to doctor's appointments, sort things out. It can give you a lot of energy just with your day-to-day routines. Like if you've been feeling really sluggish and like you just can't be bothered doing anything, Mars will give you the motivation just to do the housework, do, you know, school drop-offs and pickups, or, you know, go to work and do those mundane duties and tasks, everyday things that you've got to do at work. It'll give you the energy to go to those doctor's appointments that you need to go to. It'll give you the energy to go to the gym and that motivation. So when used positively, it will obviously give you more motivation, action, desire. On the lower end, it can be conflicts and arguments with co-workers or doctors, or it can bring accidents, those sorts of things with that transit. And then on the 16th, Mars will move into your Pisces 7th house. So that's when your energy, focus and attention and passion will all be going into your 7th house of relationships. So this can be quite good for building intimacy within relationships. Again, sex, those sorts of things. But on a more negative side, it can bring conflicts and disagreements to relationships as well. Any kind of close one-on-one relationship. So romantic partner, marriage partner, business partner, friendships, any close one-on-one relationships. You can obviously use the higher side of Mars, which is passion, desire, you know, all those fun things, or the anger and aggression and conflict can come out. It depends on your chart. So yeah, try and use that in a more positive way. Just remember as well, the stars and the planets and astrology, they give us a bit of guidance on the energy, what's happening above, and as above, so below. But we always have free will. We can always choose how we're going to behave and respond to things. So even when we've got heavy transits or, you know, malefic planets or anything challenging happening, we always have the free will to choose how we're going to react and behave to that. So this energy just gives us, you know, a bit of a head start over that, or lets us be able to see it objectively, so we can, you know, take control of that in a way, in a sense. Another thing I quickly wanted to mention is there's a once in a lifetime conjunction happening between Neptune and Jupiter in their home sign that they rule of Pisces, and Pisces has its modern ruler, which is Neptune, and traditional ruler, which is Jupiter. So these two planets conjuncting in the Pisces that they rule is a really big energy. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to see this energy. I think the last one was in the 1800s, sometimes maybe 1850. So everyone alive in this lifetime at the moment has never seen this energy in particular. So it is pretty cool. And it's happening in your Pisces 7th house on the 11th of April in Australian time. So your 7th house is about your relationships. As I said, any close one-on-one relationships, romantic, marriage, business, partnerships, any of those close one-on-one relationships, friendships. So yeah, expect something really big to happen there. Neptune's all about our dreams and It can be fantasies, illusions, delusions. Neptune doesn't really have any boundaries. It dissolves a lot of things that come around it. On a higher octave, it can be really great for spirituality and compassion, all those sorts of things, and music and creativity. But it can also be challenging with like mental health and substance abuse and those sorts of things as well. And Jupiter is the planet of luck and wisdom and abundance and expansion and growth. And again, Jupiter has very limited boundaries as well, because it's all about expansion and growth. So those two together, it's going to be some pretty big energy. Sometimes we can bite off a bit more than we can chew. It can be a bit too much and too overwhelming. So we've just got to make sure that we are aware of what's happening with our relationships with this one, and try and, you know, maintain that energy as best we can and not go too overboard. But moving on, you also have a new moon on April 1st occurring in your Aries 8th house at 5:24 p.m. in Australian time on roughly at 11 degrees. New moons are all about new beginnings, fresh starts, new cycles. So when this is about your Aries 8th house, again, it's about the 8th house topics. So that's occult practices. It can be deep intimacy and bonding, other people's money, which could be like taxes, debts, inheritance, your partner's money, your marriage partner's money, a business partnership and business money, or it can be about sex, death, rebirth, transformation, because it's the house of, you know, more of a taboo house, more of a hidden house, a secret house. So all of those things kind of fall into those 8th house topics for you. So expect some new beginnings around those 8th house topics over the next 3 to 6 months. Then you have a full moon on April 17th in your Libra 2nd house at 4:55 a.m. in Australian time, and it's at about 27 degrees. Full moons are endings and cycles coming to a completion for the next 3 to 6 months. If you check out when the last Libra new moon was, that would have started some of these topics and situations off, and this full moon will be bringing them all to a completion and an end. Second house is your possessions, your finances, like your own money, and your values. So you'll have some endings around those areas. So yeah, if you've been reflecting or having events pop up about your income or your possessions, or maybe you've just been really thinking about what you value and what's important to you, what resources and possessions are important to you, these sorts of things can be coming to an end with that full moon. So I hope you guys found this helpful and enjoyed it. Definitely interact, talk, let me know, any comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, so I know what content to keep putting out there. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything, and I'll catch you in the next one.